Hello everybody and welcome to Pass Left Draft. We're going to try something a little bit different today. I'm going to very quickly review a couple of draft decks that I did for Amonkhet Remastered. I'll be going over how the draft went, how the matches went, any cards which I thought would particularly stand out, and any cards which I think didn't really pull their weight as much. So first start off with my first deck, it was a red aggro deck, red-white aggro. Hazard was pack 1, pick 1, really happy with that, lots of removal, lots of things like that. I had a choice between playing black or white as my second colour. I went for white, I really liked the cast out, it was a little bit better, and I was able to use the white desert quite effectively, so I was happy with going forward with that. Match 1, it was against a red-black deck. It was when I went first. I was able to curve out with my creatures quite nicely. The opponent played 2 Trial of Ambitions, so it made me sacrifice creatures, which was a little bit scary, especially if they managed to get a cartouche down. Luckily it didn't, I managed to get through the damage, and I was quite happy with how that went, so that was a nice win. Match 2, I was against black-white, again on the play. They had some zombies in there, but didn't quite have the full zombie synergy going. I played my 2-2, they played their 2-2 zombie. I attacked into their 2-2. I was happy to take the trade. For some reason they took it as well, because what I didn't want to happen was their 2-2 to grow into a 3-3, which was a lot more likely to happen in their deck than mine. So I was happy to offer that trade and take it. They did manage to stabilise. They got Liliana's Mastery out, but I had Fervent Paincaster out. I was pinging them, and then I managed to play the Ramanap Ruins. I had the other 2 deserts out as well, so I was able to sack those deserts, use Fervent Paincaster, and get those last few points of damage through. So that was a nice win as well. Match 3, I was against a 4-colour green deck. I was on the draw. The opponent mulligans to 6, so I was quite happy with that. I had 1 Plains and 1 Mountain in my deck. I missed land drops 3 and 4. The opponent plays a turn 5 Sifter Worm because of Oasis Ritualist. Exactly what that deck wants to do. I was in a pretty bad position. I didn't actually hit any lands in my top 8 decks. Didn't hit any lands in my next 8 cards at the top of my deck. It happens, it's variance, it's why we love the game, usually. But I was unable to win because of that, really. I just wasn't getting the momentum, and they had a really good start. Match 4, I was against a blue deck. I was on the play. The opponent missed a 3rd land, nothing much to say. I was quite aggro. Didn't play a land in turn 3, turn 4, they scooped. Might be playing a second colour, but I really don't know. Match 5, it's against an Esper deck. I was on the play. I had Hazard at my starting hand, 3 lands, some spells to play. Quite happy with that. Didn't have a creature for turn 2, but I did have a Braid. Removed their 1-3 just because I wanted to be casting a spell, getting something out of my hand, and removing any blockers that came up because I wanted to get that Hazard out. The opponent plays a Scarab God, which was quite scary, but I was able to get through with Pathmaker Initiate, the Kenra Scrapper, and Blur Blades and Trial of Zeal, and just putting the damage through the face through the Scarab God. It was really close at the end, but I had 1 big turn where I think I did about 11 damage, so that was really, really good. Then I played against a black-white deck. I was on the play, started with Plains of the Mountain, didn't have any 2-drops, but had Cast Out in hand and the red cartouche. I drew Ramanap Ruins and a Mountain, so being really happy with this. The opponent plays Bontu, but I was able to cast it out. I don't think Bontu is particularly great anyway, but I was happy to get it out of the way to stop any synergies going on while I could. The opponent was stuck on 3 lands. When they get the lands, they aggro back quite a lot, but I have Blur Blades, Kenra Scrapper, and Paincaster to get through for the damage for the win. Match 7, I was on against another 4-colour green deck. I was on the draw again, 3 land start, really good curve, pretty happy with that. The opponent slows me down enough, but I don't really have anything big to stop this. They get a Hooper out, I'll use a combat trick to take out 2 of their creatures with 1 attack. Quite happy with how things are going. They play a Sifter Worm, they gain 6 life or something like that, takes them up to about 13 life, and just stabilise in a way that I can't get through, so unfortunately that one was a loss. Match 8, I was against a black-green deck. I was on the draw, had a 3-land start, I flood, and the opponent casts Wandering Death and removes a few of my creatures, so I wasn't looking very good. They cast Greater Sandworm, which I managed to cast out. I stabilise with a Hazoret. I don't attack with a Hazoret, I use it to block their creatures, draw the Fervent Paincaster again, then just ping the opponent with the Fervent Paincaster, discarding lands with Hazoret, getting those last few points of damage through. So first time I played Hazoret, but it was really, really good. Match 9, I was against a red-white deck. I was on the play. Start with 4 lands, one of which was a desert. That's mediocre stuff, but I was hoping to draw into some nice 2-drops and 3-drops. Instead I drew 2 plains. The opponent plays Crested Sunmare, gains life on the same turn. I'm able to remove the Crested Sunmare, but he's already got another 5-5 out, and that's just too much value for me to deal with. So Overall, some cards which stood out. Hazret was obviously very good. Only really saw it once. I had it in hand another time, but didn't manage to cast it. But when I did play it, it was really good, as expected. Another good card which I found was Fervent Hindcaster, just getting that damage through. After you've aggroed out and they start to stabilise, they can block your stuff. Just getting those last few points of damage through. Also being able to take out 1 toughness creatures is pretty good, so happy with that. But actually, I think the standout cards in the deck were the Pathmaker Initiate and the Kenra Scrapper, sometimes paired with the Bloodlust Insider. And these were really strong, being able to use the Pathmaker Initiate to make the Kenra Scrapper be able to attack. Even when you exert it, it still has 2 power when you start with the Pathmaker Initiate, so you'll get 4 power through every other turn. If you've got another Exerter, you can do that with one of the 2 creatures every turn, so that felt really good as well. My second draft, it was a green-white deck. Started with Gustwalker in my pack 1. Took that over, I think it was a rare artifact removal spell. Went for quite an aggro deck. Pack 2, I did open Godpharaoh's Gift. Had to take it. It's a very good card. Super good card, which just allows it to value. It's effectively a 7 mana win the game card. So if you can get there, it's fantastic. Match 1, I was against Blue-Red Slitherblade deck. They played the Slitherblade, they put a blue cartouche on it. They were attacking through alright for a couple of turns, but I was able to remove it. Play my Bitterbow Sharpshooter as a stabilize. The opponent used Consignment Oblivion, but I draw the Godpharaoh's Gift. I play the Ritualist, so I can play the Godpharaoh's Gift, and I had a couple of cards in hand, so the Oblivion didn't remove the Godpharaoh's Gift from my hand. So discard 2 cards, play Godpharaoh's Gift, win with Godpharaoh's Gift, essentially. Really happy with that. Match 2, I was on the draw against Green-Black. Start with 2 plains and a Sunscorched Desert. I had Ghostwalker in hand, felt okay, obviously would prefer a little bit of green mana in there. Had quite a few green spells in hand. Aggro goes well to start with, don't draw forest until turn 7, in which case it's too late, and the opponent is able just to attack through and get me. They also had quite a lot of good -1/-1 synergy going on there. Hepatra is really good. If you get it, it's the main reason I'm going to green-black. Otherwise, I don't think it's particularly great in this format. Match 3, I was on the draw against white-black. It was a much better zombie deck this time. They had a really aggressive start. I managed to stabilise, have a good few turns, attacking each way, blocking each way, a couple of combat tricks here and there. I use Amonkhet's Name and remove 2 of their creatures. It's going quite well. They play the Liliana, they return a Dauntless Haven. They've got the Lord of the Accursed out, so it's a 4/4 flyer, gaining 3 life, and I can't really do anything to get out from that. It was just a really good draw for them to get the Liliana, which also gets back a big creature and gains them some life. It was a fantastic card for them to draw, so that was a loss. Match 4, I was on the play against the Jund deck in Mythic. It was Mythic number 525, so quite a good player. Quite scary straight away, but hey ho, going to give it my best shot. I had 3 lands in my opening hand, had quite a good curve. I have an aggressive start. The opponent plays Hepatra, so another Hepatra. I compulsively rest it. The opponent takes out my flyers, got Godpharaoh's Gift in hand, but don't have the mana to cast it, and I lose just to the opponent being able to aggro through before I get to play the Godpharaoh's Gift, so that was a loss overall, unfortunately. The main standard card in the decks, so Bitterbow Sharpshooters, it was as good as I remember from Hour of Devastation. It was a really good card to stabilise. It's vigilant and reach, so it can block flyers, it can attack through into a board with small creatures quite happily, and as well as being able to block some of those aggro creatures. So that was as good as I remember, and I would definitely look to pick that up again. The other card, which was really good when I was able to play it, Godpharaoh's Gift, it's still a fantastic card, but I would prefer to have a little bit of ramp, or a little bit more ramp in there, so I could get there a little bit easier. Overall, I think the deck was still quite good. I think I got a little bit unlucky. The first deck was really good as well. Lots of removal. I think it was the better deck of the 2. I think it's a good format. I do think it is quite aggro. But you can do those 4-colour green decks. I actually played a 4-colour green deck in a previous video, which you should be able to see a link to at the end of this video, and I thought that was really good. I think those 4-colour green decks are still the best decks in the format, but you've really got to work to get there, and you might have to have some of those big splashy rares to make it work, but I wouldn't be afraid to draft them again, because they are really something when you're playing against them, and Sifter Worm is a hell of a card. So you should be able to see a link to the video on your screens now, where I play that 4-colour green deck. You should also be able to see a link to one of the recent videos that we did where we commentate in a M21 draft. Give them a like, give them a subscribe, give those videos a view. Love to hear your comments on what you think about this, because it's something new that we're trying. Do you want to see more? Would you like to see a little bit more in depth, like maybe the last draft video that I did? Let me know in the comments, and I hope to see you again soon.